What if an entire town simply disappeared overnight? No war, no warning, no time to pack. Just dust-covered homes, frozen clocks, and abandoned dreams. In this video, we uncover 10 real places that were abandoned overnight, leaving behind ghost towns and chilling mysteries that defy explanation. From radioactive cities to villages erased by fire, sand, and silence, these are not just forgotten places, but echoes of human lives interrupted in a heartbeat. Stay with us to the end, because Top 1 is a disappearance so eerie, it's still debated by historians today. Top 10. Hashima Island, Japan. The ghost island of steel and silence. Off the coast of Nagasaki lies Hashima Island, known as Gunkanjima, or Battleship Island. Once a booming coal mining hub during Japan's industrial era, it crammed over 5,000 residents into high-rise concrete blocks on a landmass less than 16 acres. Life here was intense and isolated. Children went to rooftop playgrounds, and workers lived mere steps from the mine shafts. But when Japan shifted to petroleum, the mine abruptly closed in April 1974. Within weeks, everyone was gone. Pots were left on stoves, bikes rusted in hallways, and textbooks sat open on desks. Today, the island is a decaying monument to industrial ambition, with collapsed roofs, overgrown staircases, and violent typhoons battering its ruins. But if Hashima was abandoned by economic collapse, our next location was consumed by something far more insidious: fire that refuses to die. Top 9. Centralia, USA. The town that's been burning for over 60 years. In 1962, officials in Centralia, Pennsylvania, set fire to a landfill, unaware that it would ignite underground coal seams. The fire spread beneath the entire town, turning sidewalks into steam vents and streets into smoke-spewing chasms. By the 1980s, sinkholes began forming. One nearly swallowed a boy in 1981. The air turned toxic. Evacuations followed, and by 1992, Centralia was condemned. Its zip code was revoked in 2002, and fewer than 5 people remain. Graffiti Highway now snakes through an eerie wasteland of cracked pavement and sulfuric mist. Scientists believe the fire could burn for another 250 years. Centralia is no ghost story. It's a living disaster. But if being buried under fire sounds horrifying, what about a town swallowed whole by sand? Top 8. Kolmanskop, Namibia. A diamond town swallowed by the desert. In 1908, diamonds were discovered in Namibia's desert, sparking a German mining frenzy. Kolmanskop rose from sand into luxury, complete with a hospital, ballroom, ice factory, and Africa's first X-ray machine. By the 1920s, it was one of the richest towns on the continent. But the diamond fields dried up, and by 1956, Kolmanskop was deserted. Then came the sand. Today, dunes pour through doorways and bury staircases. Bedrooms resemble sunlit tombs, with wallpaper peeling like dead skin. It's a favorite for photographers, but no one lives here, just the wind and silence. Yet if sand can erase a town this quickly, imagine what the ocean can do in a matter of minutes. Top 7. Port Royal, Jamaica, the sunken city of sin. Once hailed as the wickedest city on earth, Port Royal thrived in the 1600s as a pirate haven. Located at the mouth of Kingston Harbor, it was bursting with gold, taverns, and brothels, attracting figures like Captain Henry Morgan. But on the morning of June 7, 1692, a massive 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck. Within 2 minutes, 2/3 of the city sank into the sea, taking 2,000 lives with it. Entire buildings slid underwater intact. Divers today still find preserved cutlery, beds, and even pocket watches frozen at 11:43 a.m., the moment disaster struck. Above water, the area remains eerily quiet, partly due to superstition. Port Royal is a chilling example of how indulgence and nature can collide with devastating results. But while the sea buried this city, our next destination is one where time simply... Top 6. Varosha, Cyprus. A vacation paradise. Frozen in time. In the early 1970s, Varosha was the Monte Carlo of the Mediterranean. This beachfront district of Famagusta welcomed celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor and boasted high-rise hotels, clubs, and luxury boutiques. But in 1974, Turkey invaded Cyprus following political unrest, and within 48 hours, the entire city was evacuated. Residents fled so quickly they left clothes on lines and half-eaten meals on tables. The area was fenced off and declared a military zone, untouched for nearly 50 years. In 2020, part of Varosha controversially reopened to visitors, but most remains a ghost city, trapped in time. From a beach paradise to a no-man's land, it's proof that even beauty can be sealed behind barbed wire. But what if the threat isn't war or water, but something invisible that kills from within? Top 5. Pripyat, Ukraine. The radioactive city. Frozen in 1986. Pripyat was once the pride of Soviet urban planning, home to 49,000 residents and workers at the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant. On April 26, 1986, reactor number 4 exploded, unleashing deadly radiation across the region. Authorities delayed evacuation for 36 hours. When the order came, residents had just 3 hours to pack. Many never returned. Pets were abandoned, classrooms left mid-lesson, and amusement rides sat idle, including the now iconic Ferris wheel that never turned. Today, Pripyat is a haunting shell of Cold War ambition. Children's shoes line dusty hallways, toys rest in silence, and Geiger counters still tick ominously. Though some parts are open to tourists, radiation remains a danger. From radioactive ruins to Arctic silence, our next location is even more remote, and just as frozen in time. Top 4. Pyramiden, Norway, the Soviet town at the edge of the world. Tucked deep within the Arctic Circle on Norway's Svalbard archipelago lies Pyramiden, a Soviet mining town frozen in time. Established by Sweden in 1910 and sold to the USSR in 1927, Pyramiden was transformed into a model communist utopia. Over 1,000 residents lived here, surrounded by statues of Lenin, a theater, a sports complex, and even the world's northernmost grand piano. Despite its remote, icy location, the town thrived until coal became unprofitable. In 1998, operations ceased abruptly. Today, the Arctic wind whistles through empty dormitories and polar bears roam nearby. Only a handful of caretakers and a small hotel remain. Pyramiden is a ghost town locked in a Soviet snow globe. But if you think Arctic silence is haunting, our next stop is even more mysterious. A town that cracked apart under its own feet. Top 3. Craco, Italy. The hilltop town that cracked apart. Perched dramatically on a cliff in southern Italy, Craco has stood since the 8th century. For centuries, its hilltop location was an asset, protecting it from invaders. But nature had other plans. Starting in 1963, relentless landslides fractured roads and split buildings open. Then came floods and earthquakes that sealed its fate. By 1980, the town was fully abandoned. Homes, churches, and towers still stand, but no one lives within their stone walls. Craco is so perfectly preserved it's been used as a set in films like The Passion of the Christ and Quantum of Solace. Walking through its ruins feels like traveling through time. But while Craco collapsed slowly, our next village disappeared in a single horrific day and was never rebuilt. Top 2. Oradour-sur-Glane, France. A village preserved in grief. On June 10, 1944, Nazi SS troops surrounded the peaceful village of Oradour-sur-Glane in central France. Within hours, 642 civilians were massacred, men shot in barns, women and children burned alive inside a church. The village was never rebuilt. Instead, the French government preserved it as it was, burnt-out cars still in streets, rusting bicycles where children once played, sewing machines on scorched tables. It's a town paused at the moment of horror. Visitors walk through silence, reading plaques where names remain etched in stone. A new Oradour was built nearby, but the old one stands as a raw wound of World War II. And now, we come to the eeriest of all, an entire community that vanished, without war, disaster, or warning. Top 1. Kayaköy, Turkey. The village that disappeared in silence. Nestled in the hills near Fethia, Turkey, Kayaköy, formerly known as Levisi, was once a thriving Greek village of 10,000 people. Its cobbled streets, chapels, and stone houses bustled with life under Ottoman rule. But after the Greco-Turkish War, a forced population exchange in 1923 emptied the village overnight. Greek Orthodox residents were deported, and incoming Muslim refugees, traumatized by war and unfamiliar with the mountainous terrain, never settled. Kayaköy became a ghost town, abandoned not by catastrophe, but by politics. Roofless homes peer into the horizon, churches echo with wind, and alleys are overgrown with wild grass. Declared a museum village in 1988, it stands as a haunting symbol of cultural displacement. Some say the land is cursed, others say it's sacred. But all agree silence reigns here. What do all these places have in common? They weren't just abandoned, they were erased, suddenly and silently. Behind every broken window and empty hallway lies a story of war, greed, disaster, or secrets still unsolved. These aren't just ghost towns, they're time capsules, frozen at the very moment life stopped. If even one of these places gave you chills, made you wonder, what if this happened where I live? Then don't keep that feeling to yourself. Hit the like button, subscribe for more stories from the darker side of history, and share this video with someone who loves mystery and the unexplained. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you on the other side of the unknown.